Researchers are working hard to determine the cause of more than 500 cases of lung illness affecting e-cigarette users. 8 of those people have died. But even before this outbreak, e-cigarettes had divided the medical community. The American Lung Association says bluntly, e-cigarettes are not safe. But the American Cancer Society, on the other hand, says they are, quote, significantly less harmful for adults than smoking regular cigarettes. Another complication, the latest figures show nearly 5 million children use e-cigarettes. We wanted to see the science for ourselves. One of the web's most talked about pro-vaping videos is an experiment comparing the effects of tobacco cigarettes and e-cigarettes on the lungs.
Here is the bell jar with cigarette smoke.
I mean, it just is so revolting.
Put out by none other than England's top public health agency.
My research shows that e-cigarettes are significantly less harmful than cigarettes.
Public Health England describes e-cigarettes as at least 95% less harmful than tobacco cigarettes. But is that really true?
I would agree with that, and actually I would go further. I think there's now evidence from looking at the cancer biomarkers that it could be as high as 98 or 99% for cancer.
David Abrams is a professor at New York University. We asked his colleagues in the School of Medicine to recreate the experiment by Public Health England.
This is going to look very yucky. You're going to see lots of brown and dark color, and that's what's going to simulate what goes in the lungs of people.
Let's see what happens.
For about 2 hours, the NYU team simulated smoking 4 packs of cigarettes, comparing it to the same amount of vaping. In the end,
Oh, the aroma. Do you smell that?
the differences were plain to see.
So this right here, this is tar.
Yes.
The damage caused by cigarette smoke was obvious.
Look at that. This is only 4 packs of cigarettes.
So this much material, it might not all deposit in the lung of a smoker, but this much material is entering their mouth and entering the lungs.
Just nasty. Oh.
The vapor from a coffee-flavored e-liquid, not so much.
There's a little dampness. It smells like coffee.
Yes.
Public Health England is saying 95% less harmful. You think that is true or not?
I think that's a fairly accurate statement. Might be 80, 90, I don't know how they can be that accurate, but I said yes, they're much safer than cigarettes.
But other American scientists, like Mark Alfred, are drawing very different conclusions.
I would say it's 95% harmful, because in any single study that I've seen that's looking at this in a meaningful way outside the lung, they're finding damage and harm.
Inside this lab at West Virginia University, Alfred investigates the potential long-term effects of vaping, not on the lungs, but on the heart. His team is exposing rodents to e-cigarette vapor. In a recent study, he looked at 8 months of exposure, the equivalent of 25 human years. And what he found concerns him.
The machine is detecting a higher velocity of flow through these vessels.
The animal's arteries stiffened almost as much as those exposed to cigarette smoke over the same time.
And stiffer arteries means greater risk for stroke, for heart attack, atherosclerosis, aneurysms, any number of vascular effects.
It's alarming to find this.
It's extremely alarming because it tells me that e-cigarettes simply are not going to be safer than cigarettes.
He's now trying to figure out why it happens. He says it's not the nicotine.
It's something in the base solution. The base solution is made up of propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. These are oils, petroleum.
Yeah, but advocates of e-cigarettes say, look, it's just a little oil and water vapor, that's it.
Well, so that's actually the biggest lie about e-cigarettes, is that it's water vapor. That's an oil and petroleum solution.
When you think about the so-called continuum of risk, you know, you've got pure air over here, healthiest thing on the planet, and you've got cigarettes over here, one of the most deadly things ever invented. Where is an e-cigarette on that scale?
I think it's just about as close to cigarettes as you can possibly get.
And the CDC is now advising people worried about health risks to avoid vaping. But at the same time, they say anyone using e-cigarettes to quit smoking should not go back to cigarettes. May 2020 is the FDA's official deadline for e-cigarette manufacturers to demonstrate that they are a net good for public health. You can go to CBSThisMorning.com to see more of our conversation with Dr. David Abrams from NYU, and he's going to talk about why he's certain that e-cigarettes are a benefit for public health. But as you saw from Mark Alfred's portion of the story, He says, look, the lung problem may be less with e-cigarettes,
Right.
but you got to look at the whole body system, and the arteries are a different story.
He's suggesting that NYU is looking in only one place.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. This is, I mean, it's where you see scientists, you know, conflicting like
Yeah,
that.
indeed, indeed. But one clear takeaway, though, I think is it's important that the CDC is now saying if you were a smoker who went to e-cigarettes, they're willing to say, don't go back. You know, maybe not stay, but don't go back.
This reminds me of that debate about 10 years ago between corn syrup and sugar. Which is better for you? Here, it's just they're both bad.
The trouble, one of these two camps is correct, and we have millions of lives at stake.
All right. Great report, Tony. Thanks.